Good night, ladies and gentlemen. It is roughly 7 o'clock. That means it's about 13 hours before John Procope makes history again. You may remember John Procope from 1 year ago when he swam from this island, Tobago, all the way to Trinidad, becoming the first person to do so unassisted, meaning he didn't use any fins, anything like that, just his goggles, swim trunks, and swam for 24.5 hours from Tobago to Trinidad. Let me show you where he started from. He started from around this area. That is the Scarborough area right there. And so you could see that he didn't just swim from Tobago to Trinidad. He actually would have swam about a fifth of the length of Tobago even before he got to the shortest point between Tobago and Trinidad. The shortest point being right here in this area right here. And after he would have swum to Trinidad, and the shortest point would have taken him to Tobago, but instead of Tobago he went to San Souci, that's more Sandy Grande area, and so he would have swum more than the distance between Tobago and Trinidad. This time, however, that's tomorrow, he's going to be swimming around the entire periphery of Tobago. Now, the distance between this end of Tobago and that end of Tobago is actually longer than the distance between Trinidad to Tobago, Tobago to Trinidad, whichever way you want to word it. And so this swim is going to be at least twice as long. And it may take up to about 40-50 hours. So let's look at how he intends to do it. This time he's going to be doing it from the extreme end of Tobago around the Tobago area right here. Right? And then from the Tobago area, he'll swim around Pigeon Point. At this point, he's going to reach one of his major challenges. And it'll be early o'clock, so he'll have the energy to do it. And he has done it before. Or at least he has run into the problem that he could run into before. And he knows exactly how to deal with it. One of his earlier swims, he swam from around this area, Arnasville right here, all the way down to Tobago here. And what happened is that as he got closer to past Boku, he would have intended to swim over the Boku Reef and then down to Tobago. However, because the tide was low, he wasn't able to do that, and so he had to take a detour around the Coral Garden area to come down to Tobago. As a result of that, the entire swim ended up taking 11 hours. It wasn't intended to take 11 hours, and that was a swim that he did long before he even attempted to swim to Trinidad. So what he's going to do, he's going to start his swim from here. He's going to start that swim actually before, just around 8 o'clock. That way, by the time he gets to the Boku Reef area here, he's going to be able to swim through the reef and not around the reef. And then he's going to be taking a point-to-point approach to swimming if the sea is rough. And so for him to take that point-to-point, he may have to come out a bit and then swim, because as you could see the curve of the land right here, it would make the swim a bit longer. So if he just swims out a bit, then he could just go straight up all the way to Charlottesville, then round to Speyside, etc. However, if the sea is rough, what he'll do, he'll stay close to the land so that he doesn't have to deal with the rough sea too far out, in which case he'll probably have a longer swim to make. However, persons could come out and they would be able to see him swimming easily. You'd be able to see him swimming from wherever you are, but you'd really have an easy time seeing him if he's swimming from land. As a matter of fact, one of the best places to see him would be right after Charlottesville, around this area here. So right after Charlottesville, when he reaches to Palativier, etc. But we'll talk about that a little bit more. So once he swims from Tobago area, comes around Pigeon Point, through the Coral Garden Reef, he continues coming up. When he comes up now, one probably good place to look out for him would be the Plymouth Jetty in this Plymouth area here. And the reason why that might be a good place to see him is because the jetty extending out to the sea, it'll probably be closer to where he's swimming than, say, if you on a beach, etc. By the time he gets up here, he should be in around Castara area just before sunset. I will be on the boat with him. I'm Leroy George of Green Tobago Tours. I will be on the boat with him, and I will be coming off anyway around Castara area to Palativier areas around here. And the reason for that being, it should be nightfall around the time he gets to that, and then he's going to continue swimming throughout the course of the night until he gets to Charlottesville. By the time he gets to Charlottesville, should be about early morning, and so he'll have some morning light. He'll probably be very tired, but he'll now have his hardest challenge. You see right here, where this side of the island is the Caribbean Sea side. This side is the Atlantic side. Right here where the Atlantic meets the Caribbean Sea, it's going to be particularly rough, almost certainly. And so, as a result of that, once he makes the entire length of the island, and I'm pretty sure he'll be the first person to ever make the entire length of the island, once he makes that entire length of the island, he'll have a difficult swim between Charlottesville and St. Giles Isle coming down to Speyside right here. Once he gets to Speyside, however, somewhere around here, he will take a swim probably more on the outside, because whilst the Atlantic tends to be a lot rougher than the Caribbean Sea side, there is a current that allows you to get pulled all the way down here and then all the way towards Trinidad area here. So he's hoping that once he gets past this most challenging spot, he will then get pulled by a current, probably around here, this area here, so, and it will take him all the way down here with not relative ease, well, relative ease. It's going to be, by this time he would have already swam for the better part of an entire day by the time he even gets here. And so he's going to really depend on that, catching that current properly to swim back in this direction. If he doesn't catch that current, he's going to have a difficult time, because he's going to really have to swim hard through the Atlantic Ocean. And so that covers exactly what this swim is going to be like. I'm going to need you guys to do me a favor. I'm going to need you guys, because I'll be on board, and you'll have the John Procope Swim Facebook Live that you could check on too. But if we are to have the live broadcast take place through YouTube also, we're going to need some more subscribers. So please like, share, subscribe this video, because right now we're on 33 subscribers. We need 50 subscribers on the Green Tobago Tours video for us to be able to help you to follow John Procope throughout this live. Also, we know that he's going to be on Facebook, the John Procope Swim. I think that is the name of the page. I'll inform you guys in the morning when I get it 100%, and all the other different streaming agencies, all the other platforms, etc. But if you want to be able to follow it via Facebook, via this particular platform on this particular page, you want to subscribe. We just need 17 more subscriptions by, let's say, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we'll be able to do the live there also, and persons will be able to follow us. Okay, have a good day, ladies and gentlemen.